I'm Louise Fletcher and I help artists to find their own creative voice. Today I want to share with you something fun that I've been doing lately. Working in sketchbooks, doing drawings based on real things, keeping a daily journal, or more like every other day journal of what's happening in my life, but using altered pages to do it on. I had become, I'm sure I've said before, quite bored of regular drawing, and this is a way to liven up regular drawing and do something a bit more interesting. So I hope it sparks some interest for you. Have a look at the video and see what you think. So I want to show you a way I found to make drawing more interesting for me, and that is to alter the pages of a sketchbook and then work within that. In this video I'm using a sketchbook I'd previously written notes in from a course. So I'm covering up that writing, I'm using just collage paper, and I'm creating an altered page to draw on. Hat tip to Mrs. Bertimus on YouTube for this idea. I don't think she put it on YouTube. She mentioned it to me when we were talking, or I saw it in her work. She draws on old book pages. This is a little bit different because I'm collaging into a sketchbook first and then drawing onto them. But I got the initial spark from her, so thank you for that. The reason I like doing this is I like the contrast between my line drawing and the formality of, let's say, ledger paper, which I've used in part of this, or with the way that collaged paper breaks up my image. And what I plan to experiment with is perhaps drawing, then going back over, collaging over part of it, drawing again. These could become quite weighty with all the glue and collage paper, but it has brought some interest back into drawing for me because I'd got quite bored with realistic drawing. Not that this is precise and hyper realistic, it's very quirky and individual, but it's still based on it's still representational. This is a building that I am interested in working in some capacity. And at the time that you watch this video, because I'm recording this in advance due to my course, which I'm currently teaching. So at the time you watch this, I will either be working in this building or the idea will be a thing of the past. But it's an old building in my hometown and it's been empty for a while and I really like it. It's actually an old courthouse and the court long ago moved to a newer building and this just got left. And over the years it's been rented out, but I'm interested in, like I say, working in some capacity, and I'm currently exploring that. So I felt like doing this drawing to record this time in case it never happens, I can remember. Also maybe as a way of manifesting what I want to happen. I really like that I've got the perspective wrong here. This building has a grand green door and I've just got that door all wrong, but this is what I really like about this drawing style. I don't have to get it right. And I'm using all sorts of media for this. I've got colored pencils, ink pen. Primarily I drew it first in ink pen. Charcoal. I think I've got some woody Stabilo in here. Just whatever I feel like picking up. You can see I'm adding little bits of collage in. And now coming in with some white paint to create some tonal contrast against all that black. I just wanted, when you use collage paper like this to draw on, one of the issues you run into is defining your drawing clearly. So I wanted to do that by adding more tonal contrast. But I really enjoy this process and it just creates something so much more interesting, to my eyes anyway, than a regular drawing on clean paper. And just again, collaging and then emphasizing things over top, and then where I think I need collage again, going back in. I'd at this point written some notes to remind me about why I drew this, although usually with drawings you don't need that, you usually know, but writing the notes is helpful. And then I just used some really pure black ink to make final dark touches here to really emphasize dark against light, which can be so good for drawing your eye and making the building stand out from that page. I think it's an interesting way to make drawings. You could think of all sorts of more exciting things than I did, I'm sure. I'm experimenting with this. Sometimes I paint a background onto the paper and then draw on that. I'm experimenting with very dark backgrounds and drawing in white. There's all sorts of ways that we can explore making drawing more interesting. For me, it sparks my interest in keeping a journal, which used to be a really important thing for me, something very relaxing to do and a good way of remembering what was happening when I look back later on. And I also think something nice to hand on to people who care about you. We'll see if it keeps going, but if the only thing it does is spark some ideas for you, that's a good thing. If you would like to join me in my artist community where I share everything I'm up to in much more detail, and you can see all the pages of my sketchbooks and all the work in my studio and share all my techniques and processes and thoughts and ideas, you can join me in Art Tribe, and the link is in the description or in the post in Facebook or in the link in my bio on Instagram, and it is free for 1 month. You can just check it out and see what you think, but I think you're going to love it and I don't think you'll leave, but if you want to leave you can. So no cost to you. Come and have a look and get to see all behind the scenes of what I'm doing. I look forward to meeting you there. If not, I'll see you back here next time. Bye bye.